Welcome. Please don't let me interrupt your dinner. I know it was amazing. I had a few bites. Please continue as I talk in the background. So before I begin with my notes, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Dan Stoltz. Dan, you probably don't remember this, but I was at this event a couple years ago sitting at your table. And I remember thinking, what does a credit union have to do with exploring? And as I got to know you throughout the night and since then taken notice of the quirky commercials, the awesome truck that's sitting outside, your civic engagement, and your commitment, Inspire Credit Union's commitment to youth, I can't think of a better recipient to honor tonight. So I just wanted to congratulate you once again. As Josh mentioned, my name is Madison Sigmund. I'm Assistant Chief with the Spring Lake Park, Blaine, and Mounds View Fire Department up in Anoka County, officially the longest name for a fire department in the state. But I'm honored and humbled to be here tonight. I've been involved with exploring my entire professional career, which has been just a short 10 years, but I was also an explorer and an Eagle Scout here in this council for 5 or 6 years of my teenage years as well, growing up in Blaine. And I'd just like to start with a little bit of a personal story, and that circles back to Dan. Dan is an outstanding mentor, and I know that most of you in the room would join me in knowing that in your professional careers as a husband, a wife, a coworker, there's few things that are as important as mentorship. And the Exploring program embodies what mentorship is all about. We struggle with this today in our multi-generational world, especially in the workforce, as millennials join the workforce and now our young teenagers, but it's more important than ever. Our high school age students are given mentors in every direction, whether that's through their parents, their teachers, school counselors, coaches, their peers, and the powers that we will never know about. But exploring mentorship is different from all of these. It's most often initiated by the youth. It's not something that their parents forced them into, or a student counselor told them that they needed to go check out this program or this college. They're there on their own behalf. And for the first time for many of them, it's a path on a personal mission and tangible skills that they can use not only for school, but for building relationships, for character building, for life, and hopefully a path to a profession or a career. We are truly carrying out the scouting mantra of be prepared for life. For this reason, the exploring advisors in the room and all of you that sponsor posts know that the impact is immeasurable. President Roosevelt is quoted with, "We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future." And that is exactly why I'm standing in front of you today and would urge each and every one of you to continue supporting our youth. I know that by being in the room today, you already understand that importance of investing in our youth and in building those mentorships. Most of all, I would like to honor my own exploring advisor and mentor, Bill Nice, with the Spring Lake Park OAC program, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight as he is undergoing surgery. But Autumn, who gave our invocation, she's stepped out of the room, and those in the white uniforms in the back of the room that greeted you as you walked in are from that OAC program, without which I would not be here tonight or in the position that I am in today. Thank you. So again, please don't let me interrupt your meal. For those of you that are not as familiar with exploring, I'm just going to go through a few of bullet points about what that program is all about and those immeasurable differences that it can make. And for those of you that are familiar, even I, having been involved for over a decade, reading through this, don't always realize the impact and how broad it can be, whether it's for youth, for an organization, for a community, or for building leadership. Exploring represents so much more than just an extracurricular activity. It is perhaps the greatest opportunity for our youth to experience a career before the pressure of going off to college, moving away from home, or simply not knowing what career options they might have. It also represents a big opportunity for you in the room as business owners and members, not only by engaging in our community's youth, but by enriching the lives and jobs of your own employees and building your next generation of hires and leaders. It isn't about the free education that they're receiving as much as it is about finding that match, selling your career field, molding and building character in our youth, and making a difference in so many lives with so much little to lose or surrender. Exploring is a worksite-based career education program. It matches young men and women with businesses and organizations in their career field of interest, building leadership, citizenship, and a healthy, prepared workforce. If you're not familiar with all of the program fields in the program today, there's a guide, a long list from fire, law enforcement, aviation, our metro cable access channels, and the list goes on and on. Exploring posts are most often led by youth members with company and organization volunteers serving as real-life advisors and mentors. And it is through this partnership that Exploring successfully provides young men and women with hands-on experience, encouragement, and essential information in preparing them to face the world. Last year, Exploring engaged over 1,900 young men and women through community partnerships in the broader Twin Cities area. I can give you many more facts and figures such as these, but to really help you understand what your support provides, I have asked Harley McGovern, a member of the Maple Grove Police Explorer Post, to join me here tonight. Harley, would you please come to the podium? Harley is here to share some of her experiences with you. I think you'll be very impressed with the impact Exploring has had on her and many of the other youth in our area.
Thank you, Madison. Hi, my name is Harley McGovern, and I want to explain my experience as a police explorer. I started 5 years ago when I was 16, a sophomore in high school. At that point, I knew I wanted to be an officer, and I was hooked right away when I went to the first meeting. As the first year went by, I learned so much about policing, and I learned even more about myself. After we got back from the state conference, I realized I did not want to be a police officer. I don't know exactly what it was. I can't place my finger on why, but I just knew it was not for me. And I had a very good feeling it was never going to be for me. Even though I felt that way, I still wanted to stay in the program. Like I said, I was hooked right away. The information was just so interesting, and I felt like it was something that would really improve my life. But the main reason I stayed wasn't because of the information. It was because of the people that were in the post with me. They were so welcoming and understanding, and they became a second family to me. As the second and third year went by, I didn't just learn a lot more about policing or gain even more respect for everyone that was a part of it. I grew a lot more as just a person. I learned how to be a leader, how to know when it's time to play and when we need to be serious. I learned how to speak in front of crowds, a lot like tonight, very large ones, or even small ones like my Explorer post. I learned how to communicate with people on all levels, and that ranges from little kids when we work at events, to teenagers, and even to adults. I didn't just grow up a lot, but I gained a lot of responsibility and had a lot of opportunities that helped me out. As my fourth year started, I got the opportunity to be captain of the post. I worked very hard to get to this point. I had shown all of my advisors how much of a leader I was before I even got the title of captain. I let them know all the topics that I wanted to bring up and how to make changes to improve our post. I helped train the explorers and helped them learn how to get new ways to study. I also ran meetings, which never happened before in my exploring until me. I also really wanted to make all of the explorers feel as welcome as I did. The best part of last year was when I was going through some very tough personal issues, trying to find out who I was and deal with a lot of other things going on with the people close to me. But I knew I could go to my advisors and my fellow explorers. They became my rock. I knew at that point I had a family, but it was then when I realized how much they meant to me and how much I knew I could go to them. Now, as my 5th and final year, I've changed my goal to not as much focusing on what exploring is, but really giving the new explorers the same experience I got. I want them to know that not only is this currently their family, this will forever be their family. And I want to show them all of the things they can accomplish, just like I did. I want them to know that even though they don't have to be an officer, just like me, you can get so much from this program, and it can really change who you are. My main goal for this last year is to show how much of an amazing program this is, and it shows the new explorers what they can get from it. While learning from them and improving myself, I want to help the community around me as well. Even though I won't be an explorer anymore, I want to do everything I can to help the community. And I'll be going to all of the explorer meetings to help them grow as well. Without explorers, I would not have become the person I am today. I have become way more confident than I ever believed I could have. I have become a leader, and I have become someone that actually cares what the community is like. I want to show the new people what they can be and what they can grow up to be like. Even though I'm not even at my peak in life yet, I want them to know what they can just accomplish in such short time. I owe all of this to my advisors because they have seen me grow from a shy child that didn't talk to becoming the captain and running the meetings. I owe all of what I am today to them. And I want to show how great this program is to everyone else because it truly changed my life. And I want to thank you all so much for having me here tonight.
Thank you, Harley, for sharing your story and for your leadership over the years. I just want to share again what Harley shared to start off with, that very frequently within Explorers, we find students that throughout their journey realize that they don't want to be police officers or firefighters or pilots or doctors. And that's really what exploring is all about, and taking that risk ahead of time while you're in high school. And it can do so much more for you than just a career path. It truly is building lifelong skills. And you can see firsthand that even though Harley may not go on to be a police officer, she's going to be an engaged community leader, stay involved with the post, and be a perhaps even more valuable asset to the community. So thank you for sharing your story again, Harley.